Open your mouth. Spread your legs. Clear. Let's go.
What up? It's your boy BX Tone, Dog in the Yard. Today we got Joe Robinson from East New York, BX to BK, pulled up, went through a lot of trials and tribulations, did 25 years. You're going to share that story. Peace.
What up? You already know what it is. Your boy Pistol Pete. Welcome back to Dog in the Yard. As you can see, I got my brother Tone, BX in the building, my co-host, and today's guest is Joe Robinson from East New York. What up, Joe? How you been, my brother?
What's happening?
Joe, what up? BX Tone in the building, hollering at you. BX to BK all day. Talk to me. Appreciate you pulling up.
I appreciate you having me.
Word, talk to us. What's good with you, though, man? What you been up to?
I'm good. So right now I'm going 100% business. Meaning that been home since 2016, right? Like you said, from East New York, from Pink Houses. Got to shout out to Pink Houses, right?
Pink Houses in the
Pink
building.
Houses in the building. We in the building.
Shout out Tone.
And yeah, got my man Tone. Exactly.
Got
right?
Tone
we go
out,
back.
man. Tone in the building.
For real. That's right. Yeah.
Right-hand man, BK
right-hand
Tone
man.
is in the building as well, so we want to give him his flowers.
No question.
You know
so 2016 came home after doing a quarter, right? In the state.
Copy.
And I was always on some, business, money getting stuff since I was a kid. Going from illegal now to legal, and we'll get into that.
Copy.
But as far as what I've been on now, the last couple months been focusing just on my business, Mindful Money, right? I teach personal finance, entrepreneurship, and mindset. That's the thing. It's about mindset.
When you say mindset, and I just wanna kind of front load with that briefly, and then we're gonna come back to it.
Okay,
but
gotcha.
can you just give, when you say mindset, what are you specifically talking about?
That's a good question. So in general, it's not like there's a blueprint per se, right? But it is about your perspective, how you view the world.
Copy.
Your frame of reference, right? And a lot of it, for all of us, comes from our childhood, stuff like that, but we can evolve. So if, what I learned, and I'm not, like plugging anything like that, but like my first book, Think Outside the Cell. What I realized early on was that
Think outside the cell.
Yeah. Shout out.
All day.
Appreciate.
Got to shout the people
Yeah,
out.
exactly.
Good work.
But what I learned was, and that was in 2007 while I was up top. So I had
Laser focus.
Yeah, I was on it.
Right.
I was on it. I done taught hundreds of thousands of people over the years, like real talk. You know what I'm saying? People done started businesses, nonprofits, all that based on that. But my point is that, prior to that, I was a street dude, but I always had the school smarts and the street smarts.
Gotcha.
So now what I learned, I don't want to go too far
You was
off.
just a smart brother. That's all.
Smart.
Yeah.
I'm smart.
Yeah.
But what I realized, you can't straddle the fence. And that's what I was doing, right?
You was cheating.
Yeah, you trying to do both, and it works maybe sometime for a minute, but but when my mindset shifted, when I got all them years, 25 to life, and I said, oh, this is real, right?
Gotcha.
22 years old, 23, going up state for the first and only time, because I ain't going back, you know what I'm saying? I was like, you got time to reflect. A lot of introspection, so I started looking at what got me to that point. We could blame society, we could blame, all these other things. All those factors are real, institutional racism, all stuff like that. But it was the way I thought. You know what I'm saying? And this is at 22, 23. I said, I don't like this.
I got to dive in there, though, because what you speaking about is self-accountability.
Yeah,
I begin to hold yourself accountable, right? And sometimes I think we begin to work on ourselves so much, right, that we get in the weeds of things. But at the foundation of the way we made our transformation, right? Because there's a blueprint, right? Everybody takes a different path, but there's a blueprint to it. But self-accountability is one of those first foundational pillars that we have to utilize in order to kind of keep on our journey or whatever. But Pete, come on, dive in, Pete.
No, I just want to know, I want the people, the world, for those listeners and all that out there, especially the young brothers and sisters out there, a little bit, just run down your history on us, like as far as your upbringing, how many siblings at home, mom, pop there, how
Quite
was it,
right.
was it strict home, and what led you to, get in trouble? What led you to the streets?
No, yeah, it's funny that you ask. I mean, obviously, I knew that was going to come up, but I'm actually, and again, I'm not trying to plug, but I'm working on a memoir that I started in 2011, and I'm finishing it up now, finally.
Gotcha.
Right? And it is about how I grew. You know, it's not my whole life, but you know, I grew up. I'm born in 1970. I'm 55, right? So. Grew up with my mom mostly, and then when we moved to the pink houses in '79, right?
Got you.
We was always in the east, but then we moved from one part to the pink houses. My pops, pops is in and out of my life basically. Both of them passed away. Both of my parents passed away.
Okay.
My pops in
Definitely
2014 while I
condolences
was in
for that.
Fishkill, and my mom's I was home. Thank God. You know what I'm saying? I came home in 2016. And she passed away. I got to spend time with her in the hospital, all that stuff like that. In 2019, she passed away. So when we moved in the pink houses, it was with my grandmother, right? So it was mad of us in the house. We was deep. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you know, we was deep in the house. And meaning like cousins was there because and this is just keeping it real, except for one of my aunts, and she's only 6 years older than me, my Aunt Niecy. All her siblings, all my uncles, aunts, all of them succumbed to addiction, including my mother. Crack. That shit was real. Real. So I've been sitting on this story for a while. I started in 2011, but you know, life and all this other stuff like that. But and my wife, I'll get into that, but she's retired now, professional editor, New York Times, all that. Met her while I was up top, married 20 years. You know what I'm saying?
Blessings, man.
Yeah, we doing it. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
That's like that.
And so I bring up, you know, obviously because my partner, it's my life partner, but in the editing of my books, like I write well, right? But she's a beast. She's a beast. So my shit is
She know how to put the shit right.
She's a beast. She was nominated for a Pulitzer Prize, you know, stuff like that.
What's her name? You got to shout
Sheila
shout out.
Sheila Rule. Yeah, that's my wife.
That's right.
Sheila
Shout her
Rule.
out.
Yeah,
Come on now.
Yeah. Now she's modest though. That's why. Yeah.
But you don't have to be modest.
Yeah, that's true.
You know what I'm
That's
saying?
true.
When
That's
you got a
true.
partner
Yeah.
that's worth having,
Fact.
you always shout them
That's
out.
true. No,
You
that's
know
true.
what I'm saying? So I commend you for
That's
that.
fact,
You know,
yeah.
making that relationship.
Yeah.
Because sometimes
It's
we
work.
be part of breaking a relationship,
Yeah.
right?
No,
but
true.
to be able to make a relationship
Yeah.
and have it for 20 years of marriage, like
Yeah.
that's commendable,
It's
right? We
work.
need to see more of those in our community.
Nah, I appreciate
Word.
that. Yeah. So that's, you know, so grew up, like I said, basically single parent, basically, but grandma held it down. And then, so I was a good student. You know, I was a good student, always a good student. I loved to read. My mom's got me into that. Love to read. And even when, I'm jumping ahead, but even when I got into, I love to read, love to learn. That's who I am. That's what fuels me, right? You know what I'm saying? So
Education.
Yeah. I need, even like in relationships, man, woman, friendships, I need mental stimulation.
That's right.
Or I get bored. You know what I'm saying? Straight up. You know, like
right.
what are we doing? Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm just keeping it real. It ain't about who's smarter. It's like we gotta have stimulation.
have
though.
stimulation.
You know what I'm saying? That's
Something
the bottom line.
going.
Yeah.
doubt.
So we gotta be talking about
Fuck,
something. You know what I'm
facts.
saying? We can have
I
some
agree with you.
downtime. You got some recreation time.
Yeah.
But that can't be the majority of it. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, grew up in the 80s. Crack came 85.
Reaganomics, the crack era, all those different things.
That
tore down
changed
a lot of
everything.
Black and Latino households
Twisted
in
us.
all cities.
Twisted. The title of my book is Losing Mama. So I didn't lose her until 2019 physically, but when she succumbed, the things changed. That's just real. The absence, this and that. So I went to the streets. That's how I got into the streets. 85, boom. Crack came, noticed the difference. She going in shelters. We was in, you know, living with my grandma. She said, "Nah, I want to get my own place." You know, I'm 15, but I'm over here and stuff. We get shelters. I'm like, I'm not with this. I gotta, you know what I'm saying? I gotta get it.
Gotcha.
You know what I'm saying? Because now, single moms. I had a little job, Pathmark and Canarsie and stuff like that. But I don't got no money to buy the stuff I like.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Back then, that name brand stuff, right?
That's right.
And then my peers, all right, I ain't saying no name, but peers, dudes is going to the streets. People, you know, we all about the same age, and dudes is coming up.
So dudes start making money in a legal way in the street.
Yeah, so
basically.
now I see that. I'm still in school, but I see that. I want that, right? That was my thinking. I want the same thing, you know what I'm saying? All the name brand shit, you know. So
But at the time when you made the decision that you was going to do that, and maybe this is something you may not have thought of, but if you haven't, maybe you can answer it now. Did you know that what you were doing was wrong? Like, did you have in your head, yo,
I was doing robberies.
I'm getting ready to commit some crimes?
Yeah,
All right,
yeah.
cool.
That was my, Nah, I knew it's wrong. It's,
All right.
it's straight up wrong. No, that's a good question. Yeah, because no, so it's like how we was talking about before. straight up accountability. I'm not gonna run from myself. You know what I'm saying?
Gotcha.
Like, yeah,
You got to know you.
Yeah, yeah. It's like, this is wrong. You know, and we justify it. We say, just like I said, I rationalized it, and I said, well, my mom's can't provide the money for me to get stuff. She even told me, like, for example, I'm just gonna segue. I went to the first year. I went to East New York High School. It was wild. Now I'm from the East.
Right.
I didn't want to go to East New York. I eventually went to Park West High School. They had a flight program. Wanted to be a pilot. The whole thing. Right. Go to East New York High School, and this is all in the book. It's crazy. You know. You know how they got freshman day or some shit like that, right?
That's
I forgot, right? The last day, you know about it, right? It's the last, like the Friday, whatever, the last day of that first week, right? Right? And I something, you know, like some stuff you just never forget. So we going to school, wherever you hear about it, right? Freshman day, right? So anybody can get had, anybody can get got. Right now, I'm East New York, going to East New York. I got a rep. That's, you know what I'm saying. You ain't gonna do me dirty in my own part of town. You know what I'm saying. That's not happening. You know what I'm saying.
No.
Yeah, that's not happening. So I'm already prepared. You know what I'm saying. Because we got dudes from Brownsville who's there, and they rep. You got
the Ville, the Heights,
all them, right? So we there deep. So I know what it is, right? So the first, you know, so freshman day came, and I remember. You know, dudes in my, you know, we freshmen, so dudes is nervous and they talking about it. I'm not talking about it. I always been quiet, silence. I observe. That's how I am. That's how I do time. You know, not do time. That's how I did time. Right? Let me correct that because I don't do time no more. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. That's so over. Yeah, because I think it's important what we speak, what we put out.
Put that in
you see what I'm saying? Yeah.
Right.
So I don't do time. I did that.
That's right. That's the past.
Yeah. That's the past. So. But at the time, so I'm nervous. I go to school, this and that, and the dudes is like, "Yo, man, they gonna rob us," because that's what they was doing. They was like, "Yo, you know, the sophomores, the juniors, all of them, they you know, whatever, they getting at people,
they preying on the younger guys,
preying on the younger
guys in the school." So
8th period came. Some dudes was breaking out of school 7th period. They out. They ain't trying to get robbed, so they leaving school early and all that. I stayed to the end. I'm not doing. Now I was, you know, it's like any other situations. You're gonna be nervous, but you push through the fear.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? So when I left out, because dudes, as soon as we got out, dudes start running. Like a lot. So it's like you telling yourself, they running, meaning the freshmen, my peers, they running out the building to get home so they don't get robbed. Nobody knows that you're a freshman. Like if you don't, I just walk calmly. Now internally, I'm a little nervous, right? But I'm saying if you front on me, it's a problem. Because I gotta walk home. I ain't taking no bus. You're not gonna scare me, so I don't come back to school. You know, it just didn't make sense. But my point is, it was that type of environment. And then, like the next week, my man, that's when the Lee jeans was out and all that stuff like that. My man got
patches. I remember.
I thought it was just in my school.
No, that's BX too.
What you know about them Lee jeans out there?
Him, my man.
Take the patches of the Jew man.
Crazy.
Be able to get a gift or something like that. That's right.
With the little denim, no,
the La Tiger, not the La Tiger.
You had the Lees, you had the Wranglers.
No, the one had the devil something like some shit. I forgot the jeans.
They had some stuff.
Have me thinking about Lees.
So but it was crazy. That was it. The pinstripe coming right. It was everything.
Oshkosh and all that other crazy stuff.
So I worked the whole summer, right? Before, you know, so I got all the leads, I got the shirts, the tiger, the whole shit, right? I'm good. I got the bubble goose. People had the sheepskin, all that stuff back then, right? So you had the freshman day, and then like the next week, my man got caught out there. Dude hemmed him up. His classmate, he's a year older than me, took his lead patch. Yo, you under arrest for wearing lead, some crazy shit like that.
Right.
So his man, this is crazy. This is in high school, just like how he was. So somebody in his class came to get me because they knew that was my man. We're from the same building, pink houses, like, right? So I go, I go over there to see what's up with my man, and he's handling his business. Like we grew up fighting and shit.
He wasn't
like
a
that.
lane.
Nah. He handled his business, but I still jumped in. I ain't gonna lie, I still jumped in because you violated. You can't do that. You know what I'm saying? So anyway. You know, whatever. We did what we did. And then, but I say all that to say this. That little thing experience traumatized me. right? If I'm keep it real, you couldn't name it then, but I'm like, damn, I can't live in my own my own community, my own. I can't go to school, so I go tell my moms. This is all same time. This is '84, right? So she was good, and I say she was good because my book is about before her addiction and then after what our life was, the experience and how stuff like that. So she was good, right? She was the best mom, doted on me. I'm the oldest of 5, right? So, then we was like stair steps. 5, I'm 55, my brother's 53, and then, we just go down like that. And so I told her about the situation. I said, yo, Ron, my man, he just got robbed for his lead pass. That's crazy to a parent. Like, what are you talking about?
Right,
so I explained.
It's a different culture.
It's a different culture. They didn't
doing that when she grew up.
Nah, exactly. She grew up in the 50s. You know what I'm saying? So she's like, what are you talking about? So I explained to her. I said, yo, I didn't say I wasn't going back to school. I said, yo, you got to get me, this is how I'm talking to her. Like, yo, you got to get me Calvin Klein, Bill Blass, right? That was a step up.
That's right.
Right? I was rocking those too. You know what I'm saying? But they was twice as much. They cost twice as much, which is $29.99. I still remember. With the tax, $32. I still remember.
That's trauma.
Right? That's trauma. I remember the same thing with the Pumas. They was all the same price, right? So she was like, yo, I can't. That's real. That's trauma. So I said, yo, I can't. She was like, yo, you need me to go up to the school? I said, nah, you can't do that. You're going to embarrass me. Yeah, I got it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you got
it. But I was nervous. So, but I say that to say that not right then and there in '84, but once she succumbed and I had to figure, the way I look at it, I had to figure it out. That played a role. I got a rep. I can't. And one thing, I'll just close out with this, because I talk about personal finance, money, mindset, stuff like that, is another thing that I didn't realize that was impacting me is the stigma of poverty. None of us want to feel poor. That's bad. When we come up, think about it. None of us want to feel like you dirty, you poor. Nobody know what the financial, what the situation is going on at home. They don't know that it's like 8, 9, 10 of us in the house. Yep. Right? Stuff like that.
True.
Yeah, we was deep. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, so we made it work. Pallets, everything. Yeah, we made straight up. We made it work. We didn't feel like we was family. My cousins are like my siblings, right? So so that's just a little background story. Like I said, grew up with my mom's, my grandmother played a big part, which I'll get into later. My mom's, succumbed to addiction. I knew the love was there, stuff like that, but she was.
So what was your choice? You was selling drugs or you was out there robbing?
Nah, I started with robbery, and I said started because later I got into the drug game.
At 15, you started robbing.
16. So for me, I was a late bloomer. You got people started before, but
one of the things I wanted to point out that Joe tapped on, what we do here on Dog in the Yard is we don't only exemplify individuals who are successful, but we want to educate the individuals who are watching our podcast to understand what you may be dealing with, what your son, what your daughter may be dealing with right now.
Facts.
And what Joe spoke to is something we've spoken about in the past. We spoke about the social determinants of health, right? It's a public health concept, and it's about environments influencing individuals to make decisions that in some instances we think are our own, but it's the environment that places pressure on us, our children, and our parents to make decisions that send our lives up or down. What Joe actually spoke about was working his way through fear, right? And no child should have to work their way through fear. So this is one of the impacts of living in an underprivileged or underserved community or community that's low income. But even more so, what I want to briefly speak about is how robbery was an option for you. In many communities, robbery is not an option. Nobody's around them doing robberies where a young child says, hey, I'm going to be a robber.
Right.
But for us, coming from the communities we came from, and some of the communities that young people are coming from today, robbery is an option. Selling drugs appears to be an option. And these things are really not an option. But we need to understand what our young people might be going through. So any mothers, fathers, aunts, uncles, grandmothers, grandfathers that have young people in their house, create the discussion. Talk to the young people in your house and try to figure it out. But I want to throw it back to you, Pete, so we can move to the next, next aspect of the discussion and the interview.
No. So I just want to so you started robbing at 16.
16.
And how that how
it came by. So I don't remember exactly when, but basically hanging around with dudes. I was usually the youngest dude.
What year was this?
86, right? I was born in 1970, April 1970. So other people, right? I ain't gonna get in the name dropping from my projects, from Cypress. It was always,
Right.
And dudes, a lot of dudes that was my generation, either my age or a year or two older, stuff like that. Dudes was going to Midtown. A lot of people was going to Manhattan because they figured that's where the money's at, right? So we're going from Brooklyn to Manhattan, stuff like that. So, and I knew about it. I was still in school. These dudes was like my age, but not in school. You know what I'm saying?
They're outside already.
Yeah, they're already outside, and but they getting fly, and I noticed that. I like that.
Right.
And just natural. To,
So there was a culture.
It's a culture, like you said,
of
and it's
getting fly
of
and
getting
all of that.
fly.
But the question is, how did they get the money or the finances?
And
or
I
the
knew
stuff
it
to
because
get
dudes
fly?
would come
Right.
back would talk about it. Dudes would come back and talk about it. Then, like, I remember, again, I'm not proud of them to put it out there, but when they had, right now, it's the, I think Magic Johnson movie theater in the back where I used to live, right? In the projects. Back then, it was a store. I don't know if anybody's mentioned it, TSS, Times Square
I remember
Stores.
TSS.
And I remember my first major, again, I'm not glorifying it, but that's how I was living, and following the pack. I had a lot of heart. I always had a lot of heart. So even though dudes was older, I was like the youngest dude, but even my uncles, they wasn't the best role models. So, you know what I'm saying? We doing stuff together. Right, I love them to death, but they, 8 years, 9 years, like, yo, come on, and I'm with it. I'm with it. So I remember we, yeah, you know what I'm saying?
Crazy, right?
Yeah, it is.
I love it because my man, shout out to Steve David. He's one of my childhood friends. He is still locked up. Been in jail for like 20 years, and he has like 80-something years. He's in the fast. But I used to go out robbing with his uncles.
That's how, yeah.
Thinking it was
Right,
just,
so that gave you a flashback. Real
yeah,
quick.
I think it
You're
was
like,
cool. Like,
Yeah.
yo, we go downtown.
Yeah,
We gonna go downtown, go rob and shit.
Yeah,
Go steal.
and that's how it starts. It's just like how people do with the car. You steal cars, then you don't steal cars. You got your own car. It's
Right.
like, so it's like I realized that you graduate, so to speak. So we went to TSS. I never forget this. In November of
Wait, hold on for 1 second. You ended up, what you going to talk about, you ended up going to prison for and all that stuff?
no, that one I did. No,
Right,
that
right,
one I
right.
did.
But I just wanted to say, there's a statute of limitations for some things.
No,
and
no,
then for
exactly.
other things, there's no statute of
Right,
limitations.
no,
so I just
no.
want to make sure that we clear
No,
that
exactly.
Joe ain't jamming himself up
Right,
now.
no, I
You know
thought
what I'm
about
saying?
that. I thought
Okay,
about
all
that.
right,
I'm
all
on,
right,
I
let's
worked.
go,
I
baby.
worked in Fort Law Library.
Got
Dudes
you.
know
All
me.
right, let's
I
go.
write
Talk
briefs.
about it,
I
baby.
write motions. All that.
You will not say,
Yeah.
I went to
Nah.
Dog in the Yard podcast and
Fact.
got
Yeah,
indicted
yeah.
afterwards.
Yeah,
You will
yeah,
not
nah.
say-
Fuck no,
No.
not this one.
Right. That will not be
That's
ever.
not
Hold up, hold
Joe,
up.
not here.
You go to prison for that?
Listen.
I wanna make- Did anybody get hurt? No, okay, good. We good? Okay,
Nah, we
let's
good.
go.
Listen.
Go ahead, Joe.
Fuck it. Fucking
I
soul,
got you.
Yeah, so-
I respect that. But nah, so yeah, it was statute of limitations way, right?
Right,
So
right,
this
right.
was but basically it was a whole bunch of us who and this is in the memoir too, but I forgot exactly whose idea. But it was like, yo, let's go, rob the jury case and all this other stuff. And I'm with it. Dudes, everybody's with it.
Right.
We went. It was crazy. It was when I think that was like 40 years ago. That was a long
Right,
time
right,
ago,
that's
right?
right.
But I remember how dudes didn't even like how you just kind of got at it, Tom. Dudes didn't even have to like think about it too hard. Like everybody's with it. Like, and we start walking. It was crazy. We start walking and
It's
more
just like your upbringing.
and more and listen and more and more.
Shit
more
crazy
listen,
to
it
me,
was
too.
crazy.
I'm like,
More
what
and
the
more
fuck?
people started joining us.
Everybody going in.
We started with 8 and we probably was like
Everybody
15,
going.
20
I asked you
deep.
2 questions at the beginning of this podcast,
Yeah.
right? I said to you, did you know what you were gonna do?
Yeah, I knew,
Was
yeah.
that a crime? Did you know that, right? So now, in some of them instances, we're gonna do a jokes. We know it's illegal. We trying to get
Yeah.
away. We know it's a crime, right? And then in other instances, Clifford Gertz and Max Verber are scholars of culture in the 20th century. And one of the quotes is that they have a book called Thick Description, and it says culture. And I paraphrase it is that is human beings being suspended in webs of significance.
Nice.
I'm
nice,
walking,
nice.
Pete walking, walking down Brook Avenue, walking over to Cypress. Joe join us. We're going to Millbrook. We're gonna smash these guys out. Our other bro pull up. Our other bro pull
that
up.
group psychology.
Other bro pull up. There's 20 of us going to Brook Avenue. recreational center to smash. By the time it's over, 10 of us, we in the 40th precinct. The other 10 done ran and got away.
Exactly.
Right. But the thing about it is that it was like
so
psychological programming.
Yeah, it was normal.
And that's significant, right? Where we come
it is
from,
significant.
Going to do the jokes, going to make a quick come up at TSS. TSS had everything in it.
They had everything.
Right. So dudes is walking.
We familiar with it.
TSS.
Yeah.
Dudes just walking over to the crime.
They had
20 co-defendants.
Yeah.
Nobody got caught though. Nobody got caught, and we came off.
To the next level.
And that's what it did, because the adrenaline's flowing. This and that, everybody, the police, and shit is, it's crazy. We get back. I got to get back to the other side of my project, since the project's right there, building 6. I live on the other side, building 20. So I got to get there. I'm looking. This is crazy. We get over, and then
you doing all the jokes, but you can get jokes.
That too. Well, I had a situation. I'm gonna tell you. No, exactly. And the dude tried to try me. I ain't gonna say his name. Dude tried to try. I'm 16, older dude from the other side. I was there. But anyway, we come back. Boom, dudes got mad rings, diamonds. Because we came off. They couldn't stop us. Basically, we good. Everybody came off. My uncle was there too, my favorite uncle. You know what I'm saying? And
you got the seal of approval.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep, that's right. We done put it in.
And I'm thinking, it's crazy. I'm thinking when I think back now, because I don't think about that stuff, it's like I felt like I hit the lottery. It's you know what I'm saying? Because that's the most I've seen. I had a lot of jewelry with diamonds. So we went to the Diamond District, and it came off. I got fly. And it was. I'm telling you, it's crazy how you could feel vindicated knowing that you're doing something wrong. You still feel vindicated.
But see, that's the thing.
You know what I'm saying? Like you feel like it's right, and it's not right.
See, but there's
it's crazy.
Psychological programming, and then indirect.
Yeah.
Right. So the feeling of gratitude and the feeling of success.
Yeah.
Is
accomplishment. Yeah.
It's like I'm deprived.
Yes.
I'm struggling to get my outfits together day to day and now.
Now, exactly.
I'm good from
exactly.
this jokes. So the human
it's real. That's real. It's real.
This is real talk.
No, it is.
The human condition is about being in a state of conflict.
That's a fact, though.
Yeah.
How many times you see a guy that want to get his paper up, but every time he get his money, he got to go buy a new pair of Pumas.
Yeah.
A new pair of Adidas, although he got 20, 30 pair already.
Yeah.
That's a conflict, right? Because you can't never get to your financial goal.
Because you're squandering it.
Because you're squandering it, right? On things that you don't even need.
You don't need, exactly.
Right? I call it status converting commodities, right? That really have no value overall. They have use value.
Right, use value.
Yeah,
that's about it.
But overall, you can't put them down as a down payment for your next mortgage.
Exactly, exactly. And that's the thing. No, you hit it right on the head. So we came off, and then that, I think, because I was doing stuff before them, but that was the biggest one at that time, 16. That's it. Yeah, you put the battery in your back, whatever, and then you start doing it. Then I got knocked. Oh, but let me say this and back up, because I don't want to. You got an open loop. I want to close it. I want to close it, right? Because I know I can go there. So I'm not gonna say his name. Older dude, right? He used to come through, and because he lives on the other side. So he tried to press me. You know what I'm saying? He ain't tried to. He pressed me.
From that jokes. From
that jokes. And he was there. Yeah. Now but everybody is like every man for himself. That's how I looked at it, right? That's how most people look at it. He apparently did not.
It's funny. Not to cut you off. We all go together, but once we get what we gonna get, we now all together.
No, that's a good point.
That's what you just.
Yeah, no, that is true. That is true, though. That is a good point.
Yo, come on, Tone. Yo, come on, Joe. Tone, let's go.
Right.
Jay, let's go.
Right.
But watching the joke, we ain't together. That's my shit.
That's true. That's true. No, I never thought about that, but that is true.
Ain't no Ocean's 11 here.
Exactly.
Ain't no split the pot down.
I think that if it was like two of us, maybe. Then we'd have been like, "Yo, what you got?" But
I just think that was another fucked up way of thinking.
It is
because
we went as a group.
Other coaches, not to put it, but other
that's
coaches,
true.
They put it together.
That's true.
Whether it's the mafia, whether it's the Italians, we hit this, they hit the truck.
Right.
Here, John. Here.
That's true.
Here. Make sure everybody eat.
Yep. No, that's true. That's true. So that's a good observation. I like that. So we get back. He's on my side. He was like, "Yo, he's pressing." I'm watching him going up to other dudes. Some dudes, I'm gonna keep it real, because I was the youngest. So some dudes, I observed, he came at them in a more subtle way, out of respect. Yo, because he. Nobody said he was security. He made it seem like he was security. He looking
holding
out.
everybody down.
Yeah,
and that's why you go back to the pot.
Yeah,
right? But
exactly.
for us, it's just like,
Nah,
Man,
it's
we
like
been
you could have got
robbed.
yours.
Right,
Yeah,
right,
you could have
right.
got
Everybody
yours.
find a reason why we shouldn't give him something.
Exactly. So some dudes,
I was
they
on my own.
so some dudes is like, yo, head, boom, boom, boom. I almost said his name, but yo, head, boom, this and that. So I'm not thinking like that. I'm young. I'm 16. I'm like, I just came up. That's my thinking. And you know, you ain't my man like that. You know. So anyway, but he tried to run up on me on the steps. I ain't gonna front. I lied. I mean, I said I lied. I ran up the steps. 'Cause I lived on the second floor. Got my uncle, right? Because this dude is like 20, 21, stuff like that. You trying to run up on me, this and that. So, and my uncles and them 5%, this and that. They get busy. That's how I learned how to fight.
Right.
So they came down, you know, he was gone, but they came downstairs because their names ring bells and stuff like that. So that's how I got out of that situation, so to speak. But even then, you know, like we all done been in a situation I had to ask myself, I said, are you gonna, you know, because I was scared, I ain't gonna front. He's an older dude, and you know, and I wasn't in the streets like that.
It's real, man.
It's real.
I mean, for you to say that you wasn't afraid,
Yeah.
you be faking.
Exactly. So, but in my mind, but I had, like I said, I'm not a runner though. I'm not built like that. You know what I'm saying? So there was a conflict. I said, you know, you can't stay in the house. You got to still be going. So I still, and I would see him after that. He'd be like, yo, you a sucker, you know, type of shit like that. He talking stuff, but if I didn't have my uncles though, if he didn't know about them, he would have tried me, and we would have got it on, right? Because I'm not.
It would have went somewhere else.
Yeah, we would have just got it on. Because I had a situation like that not with robbery and dude from Brownsville tried to front, and you know.
Your story is important, right? It's important that you share this story because our viewers, young and old, need to understand that a lot of times where we come from, we winging it.
Yes.
We winging it. We're watching things, we're hearing things, and then we go try it, right? Joe just said nobody taught him how to be communal.
Right.
All he knew was that he went to get what he got what he got, and it was about him.
Right.
In other instances, people teach their young people how to be communal.
That's a good point.
Right? I just did something like that with my young people and sat there and told them, I said, you need to be intentional.
Yes.
Right? When you check in on that individual that's part of your circle.
That's right.
You need to be very intentional when you go get something to eat. When you go and ask that other individual, do they want something to eat while you're going to get something to eat? And you need to be prepared for them to say, yeah, they want something to eat, but they don't have no money. Right, and still be willing to share some of what you got to eat, because if it's enough for one, it's enough for two, and if it's enough for two, it's enough for three, and we'll worry about the next meal after that.
Right.
So what happens is, in many instances, we have the mentality coming from where we come from that is just about me.
It's just about me.
Until we get to the point where something else happens.
Because now I think different.
Right.
Now I think different.
And that's what I wanted to speak to
Yeah,
as an
now I
entrepreneur,
think
as an
different,
individual who has attained success in different spheres. You understand it. It's about your network and your support system. But a lot of times growing up, we only know, man, I'm gonna get it how I live. We have all of these sayings that move us in an opposite direction from building a community. Right? While we see other cultures functioning as a community because the older people are reaching back and teaching the younger people how to be communal. So this is important. I urge every single one of you out there, teach lessons about community. Teach lessons about sharing. Be intentional and be purposeful when you teach that lesson as well.
Be a leader.
Because if you don't teach it, a lot of times it's lost on the children. It's lost on the younger people. And you don't have to wonder why all they trying to do is get it how they live, and all they thinking about is themselves.
Now, I want to add briefly on that, because if you take it on a macro level, so to speak, right? We like I said, we're a product of our environment. Not to blame everything on the environment, but it plays a big part, especially when you're young, especially in shaping you. The values, the mores, as they call it, stuff like that.
The more struggle you go through in life as a young kid, that shit builds the character of the person.
It does.
It makes the person, you know, because
it does.
And that's just a fact.
No, that's a fact.
I speak for myself. If I would have had somebody would have talked to me. I mean, the guy that I looked up, his name was, let him rest in peace, Rudy. All he did was beat up, bully.
Right.
So
that's your motto. That's your example.
So
I followed that blueprint.
Word of mother.
That's right.
That's
on
on
a higher scale.
And like you said, there was dudes older than me. Right. I just want to touch on this and that. Right. And one of this again in my book. Right. I'm just thinking through. Right. About 5-6 years older than me, something like that, because he's like my aunt's generation. Right. And he was one of like you talking about, like getting. Fly, motherfucker, fly. And that was my motto. I've seen him since I've been home too. That was from afar, because I'm the big brother. I'm the oldest. So I'm looking at my uncles. I'm looking at, you know what I'm saying, dudes who's older, you know, and I repped it.
It's psychological programming.
Yeah.
Right?
And
whether it's directly talking to you, you're able to observe it.
Observe it, yeah. And you see, I mean, let's keep it real. You see, these are the ones with the pretty girls, with the this and that. I'm coming into manhood. Who's my pops is not there.
Yep.
That's my motto.
You got superheroes in the project.
Right
that
there,
saying,
exactly.
I'm gonna be like
and
that.
They
one.
respect it, blah blah blah. So you say, oh, okay, I got to do this to get respect.
Oh,
this
is how I gotta be.
This how I got to be, and you internalize it.
Me.
I'd
be like him.
Yeah.
I have a fight. Rudy used to put the gloves and shit with the little sipper.
Oh yeah,
That's right.
That's back in the day.
He threw this shit right on me. We had some people with the Puerto Rican lovers.
I remember the Puerto Rican lovers.
Yeah.
So, Rudy Black looked like Mike Tyson.
Right.
I got my front.
Wow.
How much of an impact his brother had that he introduced me to fronts to go teach in Brooklyn. He was way over.
Yeah, because I used to rock the front.
I managed to get fronts.
Right, exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Like that.
I know people have an impression.
Influence, impact.
He said, my man, here go the gloves, all that shit. Because he used to be, I was one of those that we come to the building and Rudy be right there hustling. So it'd be like, say a group of 7 or 8 of us.
Yeah.
And everybody got to pass Rudy to get inside the building.
Right.
Rudy being like this, and beat
right.
the pounders out.
We got St. Mary's boxing. We got Tony boxing.
I'm the only motherfucker that's not running. Get fucked up. Someone used to pound me out all the time to the point where that's how you know how to fight.
Yeah, exactly.
You know
exactly.
So Rudy used to be like, nigga, this how you. So when it came down to all the skills that he taught me.
Right.
Yeah, you gotta
passed it on.
You gotta go fight the PR lovers down the block. Cypress, they want to fight you. The whole 1,000 of them down there. You gotta fight.
1,000 of them.
You gotta fight Jonathan, which is the only black motherfucker that's down with them.
Yeah, wow.
That boxes.
Right. So you know he rep because he's part of the crew. Yeah.
I'm like, oh shit. I got all these niggas. I gotta fight that.
Yeah, exactly.
But rest in peace. He became one of my best friends too. Man.
Wow, that's how it be.
But
definitely
it's shit crazy like that. You fight the person you become. But I went down the block and whatever, and beat him up.
That's right.
Boom.
Wow.
Rudy was right there.
Wow.
It's either you beat him up or
exactly.
Rudy gonna beat me up.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, fuck that. I'm beating this nigga up. And I got it on. And
that's your rep. That changes everything.
Everybody was like, yeah. I went up the block, gassed up.
Yeah, exactly. No, but that's how.
But that's just the way it goes.
That's the way it goes.
The thing about it is, why does a young person have to go through that?
No, exactly.
That's the part.
That's the unfortunate part. Yeah.
Because this builds our character.
It does.
I'm gonna tell you this, right? And I'm gonna just briefly share this. Years ago, I was behind a wall. I was in college. I was talking to a shout out to Amy Shapiro. I was from Bard College.
Oh, I went to Bard. Yeah, BPI.
Yeah. So I was talking to Amy Shapiro, and I was telling Amy Shapiro about like times when I was younger, and I used to try to figure a way to go home where I don't have to get into a fight, where I don't have to be tussling with
exactly
nobody.
Right. You can live like a kid,
Listen
be normal.
Yo, Joe, yo, Pete. I ain't see nothing was wrong with that. I was just telling a story. I said, now on the way home, when I was living in the South Bronx, I used to try to have to go this way because I know if I go that way, like I was fly. I was like maybe in like the 6th grade somewhere. I'm like, yo, I gotta fight these dudes. These dudes looking at my. She started crying.
Like, damn, a kid has to go through that.
But I never thought about it in that way.
That's real talk, though.
I thought it about. You got to go down the block and fight Jonathan.
You was just thinking survival.
I'm just telling her a story.
Right.
And then I'm an older person at the time. I'm in my 20s. I'm telling her about, I was in my 30s. I'm telling her about, when I was going home, I used to try to, and
some people can't
she
fathom
started
that.
crying.
Some people can't imagine
and you know what?
that.
That's what she said.
They can't.
She said,
it's not normal.
I can't imagine a kid having to
Shit
even
don't be
go
normal.
through that.
It's not normal.
So what I'm saying is that now that we're I call it healing while leading. Right, because as I talk through this,
I'm still
this
processing
is the cathartic
it.
method of kind of just getting it
process
out.
of healing, yeah,
right,
getting
I'm
it out.
still healing.
Exactly.
That's what it's about. It's about getting it out.
20,
Exactly.
30,
That's
40
a
years
fact.
of trauma,
That's a
you
fact.
gotta find a way to get it out.
You gotta talk. My wife said I talk a lot. So man, that's how I'm not keeping it.
I don't need no pills. I don't need no
Exactly.
nothing. I just need to talk and get it out.
Exactly.
And look back at it and say, oh, that
I
ain't
smoke
wasn't
a
that
joint
bad.
and it's over.
Talk about it. That's what I'm saying.
I smoke a joint and you gonna hear
all night.
the whole book on
That's what my
pistols.
wife said. She's like, yo, you smoke? Yeah, I don't know what you be saying, but you be talking a lot.
Yo, no, you smoke, you kick them. Yo, you be coming up with the wild shit.
Yeah.
So tell us about, with all of that being said, now we understand your foundation and what shaped you and kind of pushed you to make certain types of decisions. Tell us about that term of imprisonment, like, what led you to it, and then just walk us through that briefly.
Yeah. So from 87, I did time. I watched interviews on Pete. I forgot the guy's name, white guy. But anyway, I watched the joint. He was talking about 87 because I was on the island 87.
87,
right?
yeah.
I was a youngster. I was 16, turned 17. So C74, that shit was crazy.
Right. That's fucking nuts.
Off the chain, crazy. You talk about the Wildme pen, all that. I was in the Wildme pen, all that. Real talk, right? I wasn't wilding, but this is real. Like, it don't go away. Just like your DIN number, you don't forget. Right? Think about it. Shit is real. 30 years go by.
Shit
You still,
like the fucking like the scar on my head.
yeah, it's like a Social Security card. You
Locked
still
all the way
this
in.
shit number.
That shit never going away.
Yeah, so I come through. Look, so doing robberies, 86. First time I got knocked was this. I still remember December, like 16 or something like that of 86. Me, two of my mans. This is around the way, but not. It's in the east, but not. Do some stuff, do stupid stuff for robbery because we just, right?
You got caught.
I got knocked. I ain't gonna say I always get knocked, but I got knocked. They got away, right? But they let me go. So I would go down to central booking. They let me go. They said, I guess they couldn't find the person, or the DA, the case wasn't strong enough, whatever. So they, held me in the bullpens in the back for a little bit. Then they said, yo, you can go. I'm like, I thought it was a dream or something like that. But yo, you can go. So they let me go. I didn't even have a token back then. And I go to the booth and they go, I was locked up. He's like, yo, go ahead. So I'll go home.
You ain't have a token to get home.
Yeah, we ain't even got and I never forget. I lied to my grandmother, right? I didn't want to do that, but I lied to her because she was like, where you at? I'm coming to the house like 2:00. I'm 16. I'm not hanging out in the streets like that, right? I'm doing stuff, and I know they notice I'm stacking up my shoes, my sneakers is stacking up. My shit is stacking up.
Right.
Nobody's asking me anything though. You know what I'm saying? At that time, that's when you know something is wrong too. When I look at it now,
Well, lack of attention for a child. When a child's not getting attention at home, in the sense that,
and my grandma trying to hold it down, but
nobody's
she's
looking at your clothes.
All her kids, nobody's
what you
doing
coming
nothing.
and going with.
Yeah, exactly.
That's neglect.
And something because she was overwhelmed. She got
so much going.
Yeah, it was crazy. So, but anyway, so make a long story short, so I get out, boom. The first, like a lot of times we get knocked, I say, yo, I ain't going back. Because I was shook. I'm in central booking, I'm thinking, boom, I'm going. You think the word, I'm going to jail, I'm going north, all this other stuff, I'm 16, So, but I got out. And first couple of days, I'm like, my man's like, yo, what's up? We going to go get money or what? I'm like, nah, I'm good. Y'all go ahead. After about a week, that shit wear off. All right, let's go.
Environmental influences.
It is. I'm like, let's go.
You should start forgetting.
You forget after about a week.
Your friends are not asking you to go play basketball. Your friends are not asking you to go read a book. They're like, yo, we going jokes. You
exactly. It's
we
crazy.
Gonna go rob.
We going to stick.
And so it was crazy. And so by then, like I said, I wasn't in deep because it's early, but I was already there. So the next month I get knocked. Same guys, right? I get knocked. Public all out, and they got the shotty on me, all this other stuff like that, and they got me this time, right? So I end up doing, so I go to C74.
So you're going across the bridge.
Across the bridge.
How was that like?
No, that was crazy. So scared to death, right? But not showing it, right? And by that I mean, or at least I'm thinking I'm not showing it because I've always been, like I said, quiet and reflective.
I like that you say that. You see the thought?
Yeah.
At least I'm thinking I'm not showing it.
Right.
Because a lot of times people that know it see it. In our minds, we like.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
On the opposite side, look, he's scared to death.
Right.
Other people too much.
Yeah,
exactly. Because you trying too hard to be hard.
Too much.
Yeah. So
You
I'm
said this nigga faking like a motherfucker.
Way too much.
And I done seen that
This
too.
motherfucker sticking his chest out too much.
Like he got it. Like I done seen that too. And then dudes get washed up.
Oh, you get washed up.
Because you coming through. I seen
You
doing
that.
too much.
You
know
be
what?
doing
We
that
got
stunt back and forth and all that.
Yeah.
Man, what you doing, bro? Sit
right.
down.
Exactly.
That's right.
Exactly.
Yo, bro.
So
I'm standing up in the back
Exactly.
for. Sit your ass
You know,
down.
some dudes get caught, be in the bullpen, going tossing back and forth.
Yeah,
You know what I'm
yeah.
saying? I'm one of them niggas that be laying down and shit starting to bother me. You make it too much. My man.
Right, you moving too
doing?
much. Exactly.
Nah,
Yeah.
shit,
You making me
I'm over
nervous.
here
Yeah,
trying
yeah.
to get a nap.
The stunt is over. You gotta sit your down. You gotta sit down, dog.
Exactly. Straight up.
Yo, he just
So, yeah.
gave me a flashback.
No, it's real though.
You sit there, know you get ready to get 100 years. You like,
Yeah, they gonna be trying to hear that shit in the booth. Probably,
what the yo?
yeah, like,
Yeah.
sit down,
Yo,
bro.
come on, man.
Yeah,
sit
yeah.
down.
You walking by, you make me nervous. Get the
That's
fuck
right,
out of here.
that's
It's just like a motherfucker that want to take a shit. They couldn't take a shit when I'm in the booth.
Yeah, straight up. You gotta hold that.
Man, you gotta hold
You
that.
gotta
dog.
hold that till you get back to
Yeah,
the
you
block.
gotta take that back. When you get to your block, dog,
Straight
you
up.
gonna shit. You won't be shitting this motherfucker.
Right,
Yo,
exactly.
that
Stay
is
blowing
the
us up.
worst.
So I come through, scared, boom, I'm cool. But I remember, I don't know the dude, but he was the older dude. And I could tell, I read body language, stuff like that he seemed more seasoned, right? So he just, and then he's coming from Brooklyn too. So he's like, yo, you gonna be all right, man. And that was helpful. I ain't gonna lie. Just him saying that. He just, like I said, I'm thinking I'm not giving up. 'Cause I ain't shaking this and that. And whatever.
But he reading it.
But he reading it, and he's asking questions. Yo, it's your first time, Boom? So I'm like, yeah. He's like, and just small talk, and then he's like, yo, you gonna be all right, man. You know what I'm saying?
Nice.
Now, if I was fronting, then he probably wouldn't have said that. He probably
told, sit your ass down.
No, or he gonna be like, he wouldn't have said nothing. Or he wouldn't have said nothing. He's
That's
like,
a
oh, he
fact,
gonna
though.
see.
Yeah.
He gonna see.
Let me see how real this guy
Yeah,
is. when you
because
get
I
over
done
there.
seen it. Dudes, I was getting notional. I was doing this and that. Then, I don't wish that on nobody.
Right.
And then they
just
get
happens,
washed
though.
up.
You get
That's
wa-
right.
They get washed up. I'm like, see, you should have just been chill, man. Observe. And,
Yeah, it should've been cool.
So, so that's how I always came through. But anyway, go through. I went through my situation at the fight. I did 4 months, right? So I ended up getting, it was a joint robbery 2, I think, right? Then they dropped it down, first offense, stuff like that. So I got the 6 months, 5 years probation.
Okay,
So
okay,
I
okay,
got
okay.
that. So I
Right,
did
right,
4 months. So 2.5 was on 74, right? So that was rough. That was, you know what I'm saying? Like I said, I had about 3 fights.
Gotcha.
And, you felt the phone, the this, the that. It wasn't every day for me because I was chilling. And I
Right,
knew
right. But
some
it
people.
happens.
It
Yeah,
happened.
that's
Dude's
that
going to
kinda
try you.
environment. That's
Dude's
right.
going to try you. I had to, yeah.
It was a little different back in the days, guys. When we say phone, for the viewers out there and the young brothers and sisters out there, you don't go through that no more.
Yeah.
But you still go through changes because it's jail.
Yeah.
I mean, jail is not meant for you to just sit there and get flowered on and all
Right,
that.
just chilling.
Yeah, exactly. You know what I'm saying? So it was a little different back in the days. You had to fight to get on the phone, and
'cause it
call
was
your
free.
family.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
So it was real. So little things like that. Did 2.5 months in the 4 building. Then once I got sentenced, we went to the 6 building. Right. I had one fight over there, again over the phone. I'm on the phone chilling, early in the morning. It's in the dorms. Right. I think it was 9 up or something like that. And the dude, I don't know, dudes is crazy. Dudes be bugging. When we young, dudes be bugging.
I know.
And this dude got the nerve. Even now when I think about it, I'm on the phone, I'm on the jack, dude's chilling, right? Oh, I'm chilling and I'm talking to, my girl. And the dude just clicks. I'm thinking the phone just hung up like something because they could turn the shit off, right? On the inside.
Right.
But it clicked. I turned around and the dude is there. He clicked the
He hung
phone.
your phone?
Yeah,
Yeah,
so
he
I
hung the
just,
phone.
boom, we get it on and stuff like that. And like I said, not to glorify it, but and I could fight, like I said. So I got the best of them. I never forget the COs coming. They like, yo. They was like, they got our names, this and that. They pulled the little cards, and they was like, yo, you go home next month. You go home. I was scheduled to go.
Right, because this is 6 building
building.
now.
Six
Y'all got
building.
short time.
He was already
yeah.
sentenced.
Yeah, I'm already saying. So I only had like 6 weeks to do that. I'm
like,
trying.
yo,
I'm
y'all
trying to
ready
be
to go
quiet.
home?
That's what y'all doing.
I'm trying to chill. This dude, you can't even fight. Like, you know what I'm saying? But he's front because he's got his peoples and stuff like
Yeah, of
that.
course.
Right. So, anyway, so he was like, yo, you go home. This was April, I remember, because my birthday's in April. And I was like, go home next month, right? May 17th, I still 15, something like that. So the dude went, his date, I didn't know it until then, his date was June. So see, it was like, yo, I'm going to give y'all a choice, give y'all an option. I could let y'all go at it, right? But if y'all want to do that, then y'all going to lose your dates. So which one you going to do? I'm like, nah, you know what I'm saying? I'm good. The dude didn't want it. Then his man came and like, yo, that's my man. We know he can't do nothing with you, but if you know what I'm saying? If you fight, you beat him up, we're going to jump you. This is how, straight up, this is wild. I was like, man, it ain't nothing, man. As long as he stay away from me, this and that, I can get on the phone.
We good. We
I'm
go
good.
home in a minute.
I'll go home in a minute. One thing about me, I'll say, and I'll get into, but one thing that has always been the case for me, I never embraced incarceration. I just never embraced it. Whether it's the jail.
Your product.
Yeah, I never.
Showed that you didn't embrace it.
I know. Yeah.
Too solid.
Yeah,
solid.
Yeah,
joints,
I
you know
never
what I'm
embraced it,
saying?
even though I knew, that I was guilty. I did, I just never embraced it. Never in the county jail.
Sitting around idle. Just
Nah.
done, right?
It never defined me. I refused. It's
That's a great thing, man.
Yeah, I refuse.
time.
And I see other stuff, especially up top, or let's say
Yeah,
the
of
feds with
course.
dudes during that time. You see dudes go to the hilt, so to speak. They go all out and they become that, or they think they become that.
You never got influenced. You ain't down with no gang.
Nah.
You never got influenced. Never got caught up with anything. You kept like Tone says all the time.
Yeah.
What's that?
The tunnel vision.
Your tunnel
Yeah,
vision.
the
Laser
tunnel
focus,
vision. Now I
tunnel
had
vision
situation
focus,
stuff, come my way and almost
Yeah,
had to
of
get it
course.
on.
I mean,
but I never. The dudes, the game, they
So you
they
came
was in
home-
my classes.
So you did your 6 months. You came home.
6 months
What
came
year?
on. That was in '87.
Okay, and then what?
so
You
that was
went back.
January
You went back
7th.
to square one.
So then I was
Robbing
on
and
probation. Not right away. Not
Okay.
right, but it came right. Not right away. Boom. I was on probation and I wanted to, chill out, stuff like that. And I didn't want to go back to the island. Right. That was like Vietnam or something like that. Right. Dudes got twisted. I mean, I saw a lot of stuff.
What's one of the craziest things you seen on the island when you've been there?
Gladiator school.
on
We
the
used to
island?
call the island
I seen it.
Gladiator
Anywhere,
school.
in your incarceration, what's the worst
Oh, I
thing
seen a couple
that you could
things.
think?
seen a
One,
couple
just give me
things.
one that you could think that just left with you. You like, wow.
When you said the island, I had one thought, but the one of the ones overall was I saw a lot. 25 years, I did 25, right? Later on, but dude died right. Like I didn't see him get touched. He got stabbed. He was black dude. I'm just gonna say that black dude who robbed the Dominican dudes. Dudes got their cliques, their courts, and all that. You can't do that.
In
But
Clinton?
no, this is in Green Haven.
Oh, Green Haven.
It's in
yep.
Green Haven.
I was
They
gonna-
get
that was
busy.
the next question I was
Yeah,
going to
it's
ask
a
you, 'cause they
business. I
got
did
the
6
courts and
years
all of
there.
that stuff,
Yeah,
right?
yeah. I'm there. I'm on a Brooklyn court. I'm on a Jamaican court. I'm not Jamaican. My father's from Trinidad, but I move around, so I'm cool with people. You
Right.
know what I'm saying? And this dude, I didn't, not wishing that he passed away, but anyway, this dude, robbed the dude. Robbed. I don't know for whatever. Went in the cell, took his stuff, whatever. Dominicans came and said, "Yo, give him his shit back." Well, he's like, "Nah, yo, you pussy," but all this other stuff, right?
Yeah.
You trying to play. So then the dude was laid back, quiet. They put the battery in his back or whatever. Say, "Yo, listen, you got to put that work in. You got to represent. You can't make us look bad." Basically, that's how we got it afterwards. You know what I'm saying? And that's what he did. That's what he did. So I saw, some scuffle, whatever. It's at nighttime. We chill, I'm working out or whatever, me and my mans. And so I didn't see what happened or whatever like that. But then I saw, dudes bring him to the court where me and my man was at. And, he like this. He leaning down. And I'm thinking, you put two and two together. And this shit was
Yeah, got
crazy.
stabbed up.
He got with some, you know what I'm saying?
Some nice steel.
And folded over like a rag doll. They sat him up, right? And he was like, "Yo, I'm thinking because he
bent
get
over
high.
like-
Yeah,
yeah.
he just flopped.
You thought
I thought he was high. You know what I'm saying? No, kid.
you thought it was one of the high joints.
Yeah.
You one of those joints you be going by 3rd Avenue. He slumped up so fast.
Right.
You be like, "Wonder how the fuck?"
Right,
is so
how he
fucked
get
up?
back up? That's what I thought it was. But
Damn.
then next thing you know, they shut the whole joint down because whatever police saw it.
Yeah.
Then they strip you. Everybody got to go through,
Everybody
get
got to make
searched
sure
and
they
all
not-
that
they
stuff.
cut or anything, right?
Yes, I'm like, what the fuck? Then we learned the next day, the dude died.
So how long
Dude died. You know what I'm saying?
was
because
that
he robbed the dude
before
yeah.
your final release? And that was done, of course, you doing
That was
25?
yeah. That was in the early. No, that was about like 97.
Okay.
So I only had 5 years in. So I saw stuff before then. That's what I'm saying. You see a lot.
You in there like, "Oh shit!"
Yeah, I'm
All
like,
right,
this shit
what
is
I'm
real.
facing.
Exactly. And I started in Auburn. Auburn was real, right? Then went to Elmira.
is.
They
That's
popping it, black and Latino like this. That's what I said. For me, it never made sense. If something about me, even at a young age, not like because I was scared. Like once I went up north, so it's like it don't make sense. Like why I'm keeping it. The oppressors is not you. It's not you.
Absolutely.
That's how I was looking at.
the
it.
system,
I started,
systemic oppression.
I started reading, and becoming conscious. So I said, no, okay, I know it's the system, right? Exactly. It's been
Systemic
designed.
oppression, that's right.
It's designed. It's nothing.
And not only the system, it's just lack of education.
That too. That
So,
plays a
because
big part.
We can't just be
Yeah,
blaming the
that's a good
system
point.
and all that. Because I would say that from my own experience.
Mm-hmm.
If I don't know something and I have to learn it when I went to jail, than what that is.
Well, what you find is that when I say systemic oppression, right? So you have different systems that collaborate with each other, right? Some in a conscious way, the way the policies and laws are written, right? And then others in other ways. So what you find is when you think about the judicial system, right? The judicial system, what we found, right? The literature shows, right? And when you do any kind of research, it shows that people from marginalized communities, right? Minorities, blacks and Latinos are dealt with a punitive model.
Yes.
Right? So where you'll have a young white person going inside of the courtroom, they'll give them therapy, right? That person gets caught with drugs, and then they have this therapeutic program. How many entertainers, how many other people we see that get these therapies, right? But what you find on par, people going inside of the judicial system coming from marginalized communities who are black and brown are given a punitive model, right? So individuals struggling with substance use disorder, and they may have done something to support their substance use, right? They get a 5-year flat. Right. So now they find themselves inside of these environments where you can be assaulted in that kind of way, right? Because you make a bad decision. So when I say systemic oppression, I mean it in that way, not specifically that, hey, this state or that state or that state. It's just the way that laws and policies and FOMs, facility operation manuals, are functioning within these particular systems.
No, that's true.
That they are oppressive on individuals inside of those systems, and we find more blacks and Latinos in the system. So that's why we call it systemic oppression.
And a good example of that, a real life example, right? To my systemic oppression and discrimination, all that is, and you talked about policies, right? So the most glaring, let's say, example for me is when up until Obama changed it, right? And I'm not getting into politics.
Exactly where
but
you're
they
going.
talk about the 1-to-100 ratio.
That's right.
For crack, you got a lot more time. Where was the crack at first? It was in our neighborhood.
Yep.
So, cocaine, heroin, all that stuff is bad. So why we got to do more time than somebody who uses the other
And
drug?
we understand that
that's
inside
not
the
a
marginalized communities is where you're going to find crack at. So there's a higher probability you're going to get 100% increase in your sentence.
That's by design. The legislators that for them to make the law, they had to come together and agree to this.
They base that shit based on our neighborhood.
It's a trap, exactly, by zip code.
But
this is
you got to remember,
this is who's fucking
South Bronx.
This is who's fucking
East New
with
York,
but it's historical.
Yes.
Whenever this
we got to
nation
control this. Yeah.
has had, whenever the nation decided that there was a specific group, you have the Asian Exclusionary Act, right? They understood what drugs the Asians used, and then they criminalized that drug, right? You had the same thing with Latins. They find out what drugs they used, and then they criminalized the drugs. So this is when we say systemic oppression, right? All I got to do is find out that you like donuts from Dunkin' Donuts, right? And then make Dunkin' Donuts illegal.
Right,
So you get caught with a Dunkin' Donut, guess what? Everybody that look like you that like those donuts is going to jail.
Exactly.
So when we speak about systemic oppression, it's not something that's happening by happenstance.
Right, exactly.
So that's why it's important for all of us to get into writing policy, to get into understanding the law, to get into personal advocacy and community advocacy, so that we can push back and begin to write the laws and the rules and the regulations that govern our communities to make our communities safer. Not just in stopping violence, anti-violence campaigns, but also stopping policies that will seek to put you inside of the carceral environment.
Exactly.
So,
exactly.
I love talking to you because you're creating all of these different angles.
Right. Exactly. No,
but tell us about, so if we can, I don't want to push you through the incarceration, but tell us what got you incarcerated. But you've already started talking about different things that took place.
So
if you can tell us about the incarceration,
what you started doing,
and then tell us about how you transitioned out, what you started doing to prepare yourself to transition out to be the man you are today.
Okay, good question. So from robberies, when I look back now, I think the way I thought about it then was that I stepped up a notch and went from that to drugs. That's how it was looked at back then.
Right.
And that wasn't like planned or anything like that. Went to college, right? So I eventually went to college. This is in 89, right? So went from Rikers Island, got in trouble a couple more times, but didn't go to jail, right? Got arrested, but didn't go to jail, right? Would get bailed out and stuff, right?
Got you.
And then when I went to college in 89, After the first semester, I come back home. I didn't plan it, but my girl gets pregnant, so we got a baby on the way. Anybody who's parents know that changes your
That's
whole
right,
life,
big time.
everything.
Big difference.
Unless you're gonna be a deadbeat, I'm not that
Right.
dude. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, okay, damn, this is a change. I wanted to be a pilot, literally. Right? I wanted to fly planes. My father, who's black from Trinidad, passed away, flew planes. That's uncommon, right? That's what I aspired to be. Right, I wanted to go to Embry-Riddle Aeronautical University, Daytona Beach, Florida. I mean, I had my shit set before I went astray. Right, that's why I say I had the street smarts because I was in it, right, and the book smarts. That was always.
You make me think about my grandfather, John Henry Winley Jr. Right, my grandfather. He fought for the Air Force in the Korean War, and he flew planes. So when you say that, I'm like,
I plan on
like
taking
tapping right into
yeah,
me. You
I
know
plan
what I'm
on
saying?
doing it next month to take a final lesson. I've been saying it for years. I just want to take a lesson and have it videotaped. All that, just to, you know what I'm saying, kind of like.
That's just,
Yeah,
that's
to relive
just,
that.
that's what you
Yeah,
want.
that's what I wanted as a kid.
Get it done.
Huh? Yeah, exactly.
Shit,
That's
get it
what I'm
done.
doing.
That's right.
So I go through that.
Think outside the cell.
Exactly.
That's what he doing.
That's what
right?
I'm
He
doing.
living it
Thinking-
out.
No,
That's right.
exactly.
That's
And
a
for
fact.
me, it wasn't figurative. I'm
Right.
literally thinking outside the cell. Even when I went, especially when I went up north, had all this time and stuff. So I go upstate, get money, right? And I'm getting it, right? I'm 19, 20.
Hustling, getting money. He hustling.
I'm
up
getting
there
it,
getting
right?
it.
So, $2,000, $3,000, sometimes $4,000 a day. That was a lot for me.
Nice.
You know what I'm saying? Those all those years ago. And I have no major empire. We had a team and all
That's
that.
before the cell phones and all
Yeah,
that.
before cell phone, they had
Before
the big
cell phone.
block joints. It was before all the social media, before all that, right? And so anyway, go through that and then fast forward it. So in '90, so that's '89. I'm up there, upstate. I'm not gonna get too right. I'm upstate, New York, going to school. Then I leave school because my girl gets pregnant, and then I'm tempted. Because I will go to get a job. Back then it was messenger jobs. Everything was the messenger jobs, right?
Remember that.
And when they try to slave me, I'm like, I'm not with this. You know what I'm saying? He's trying to pay me $335, and I'm just not with it, right? So I calls upstate. My man's was like, I'm like, yeah, I'm getting ready to do what I do, meaning robberies. That was my thinking. It's crazy how I know I'm like, it wasn't even like I didn't do it. I was tempted. I called my man. He's like, yo, nah, son, and I'm getting it up here. They doing this and that. I'm like, word, boom. So I end up going upstate, and anybody who knows the lifestyle became addicted.
Got you.
It was addicted. The money. The first. You know what I'm saying? I'm making.
So you went up there, you started getting money.
I'm starting to get money.
How long that last?
For 2 years, and then I'm going to other places. I'm going to the Poconos. I'm going to Green, North Carolina. Yeah, I'm moving around. But that was my mindset, right? I remember, and I regret this, to this day. My son, mom saying like, "Yo, leave that alone. I'm not with that. I knew you before then." And in my mind, she was right, but in my mind, I'm like, I can't go to like a job where I'm getting $200 a week, $300 or whatever.
Right.
The math didn't make sense. I ain't trying to. So I'm like, I gotta get it, So I stayed, getting money.
What led to that major incarceration?
Yeah. So now that's where we at. So now I'm upstate, getting to a situation with a guy from upstate who thought that I had something to do with somebody tried to rob him, right? Somebody from the city. Somebody from East New York, right? And somebody tried to rob him. He thought I had something to do with it because me and the guy happened to be. This was crazy. I mean, I got where he came from, to be honest, right? So we in a bar, we chilling. Me and this other guy. He all right. You know what I'm saying? He's trying to ease everybody. He all right or whatever. He ain't my man. He don't roll with our team.
Right.
He's, you know what I'm saying? So he says out loud. Right, I ain't gonna say no names, but he says, "I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna rob this motherfucker." Right, the dude in my case, right, dude's dripping, right, from upstate. He rap, right, for up there, right. Somebody, yo, I'm gonna rob this dude, this and that. I'm like, yo, you bugging, because we get drug money now. Listen, I'm thinking like we on some different. We don't do that.
Right,
That's
we on
how I
different
think.
Time, right?
Yeah, it's different types of. You got the stick up
Different
kid.
type of hustle.
Yeah, it's a different type. So I'm
We
like,
done
yeah,
passed that.
yeah. I'm like, nah, I don't do that. I'm not with that anymore. So I thought he was because we was drinking at the bar. You chilling and stuff. So I'm thinking that he was just talking. It was the alcohol. He was serious, and I learned that because he tried to yap the dude. Dude gets away, but he saw us talking. So I know how it goes. I'm mad at this dude. Like, yo, yeah, I'm sure I done got in beefs up north, like not or close to it. Somebody else's beef. It's not even my beef, right? So, anyway, sometimes like, yo, you stupid motherfuckers, man, fuck these, all this other stuff like that. I'm like, damn, now this dude gonna think I got something to do with it, right? I'm up here to get money, right? And I put in work. But
you hustling.
I'm getting money. Grind. You can't. It's hard to get it like that when you got drama. That you know what I'm saying.
That's right. You can't do both.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying, because it's gonna slow it down and all that. We done had both. We done put in work so again, but it slows it down. You gonna point you. So I'm like, yo, you bugging. He was like, man, So that was that. To this day I don't even know if I saw him again because he was messing with this girl. I think he went home, right? Because he wasn't a part of the clique. I see the dude months later, you try to rob me, but I said, nah, I ain't had nothing to do with it. And I could straighten the eye. Like, he came with his mans, they had to drop on me. They ain't pull out, but they had to drop on me. And maybe, it's not a good feeling to be on the other side, right? It's not. I'm just keeping it real, right? It's not a good feeling. So I'm like, I'm seeing, how this thing's going down. I stalled. I went in a bar, right? I'm from the city, so I'm fast with it, right? And I go and I'm like, yo, cause I gotta buy time. So I tell, yo, go get my man. So they right, we up there, we deep, right? And yeah, people know, right? So he comes in and he's like, yo, let me talk to you, this and that, and let me talk to you in the bathroom. I'm like, bathroom? What are you talking about, man? You know what I'm saying? So make a long story short, I'm gonna speed it up. He breaks out. He says, yo, I'm gonna see you. He realized that he don't got that much. His man's is outside. Now, I can't get out. I'm him then. But I went to buy time, right? Because I got work on me. He's trying to, get my workers. And rob. He's trying to, just rob everybody. I said, nah, I ain't going down like that. I go inside. So then he breaks out, yo, I'm going to see you, this and that. And Alex said, I think differently now, but you can't do that. I'm not, you know what I'm saying? That was my thinking. You can't do that. You can't, that's just my thinking. You can't threaten me, say you're going to come get me and stuff like that. You just can't do it.
He don't declared war.
Yeah, you can't do that. So that's
and that was the culture back then.
Yeah.
So then what happened?
So that was that. Now I'm like, damn. Some time later, my man's calm, boom, he's gone. My man's calm, this and that. So then so that was that. I didn't see him. For a while. I ended up going to, not immediately, but I ended up going to North Carolina, mom, my son. I'm like, trying new life, this and that. This is my thinking. But I was moving too fast, was impatient. And I was getting money down there, right? It was, I'm not glorifying, but it was potential and stuff like that, right? There's other dudes, obviously, so you got to, I had to feel my way around and stuff. But, so then I ended up coming back. Me and my son, mom's broke up. She leaves me, right? She's like, yo, I'm out, because I'm cheating. And
you
all
in the
stuff.
street,
I'm in the street.
Doing all the stuff that's part of that culture.
Yeah, so she's done. She goes back to New York. I'm like, oh, man. So we broke up. So now I ended up coming back from North Carolina.
Back to that town.
Back to that's where the money at.
Right.
That's my thinking. I'm not going around the way. I'm making thousands a day. I'm good. You know what I'm saying? So I go to what.
But you got an op up there.
I got an op up there. And I know it's, I'm leery. I'm like, yo, hopefully this dude, he realized I had nothing to do with it or whatever, So.
Blinded by the money.
Yeah, exactly. So that money is something. So I go back up there. Not right then and there, but on the night of the crime, right? I go down to a different spot. Right? Up there's like bars. Like, ain't no real hangout. You got a club here and there, right? A lot of money, though. A lot of money. And so I had a feeling, I'm going to be honest, that I might see him because his projects was down there. So I knew of him. We was never cool or never, you know what I'm saying?
So you seen him?
Seen him. Right? He playing darts. Boom. Bump into him. He tried to, to me, felt like some, I regret it now, but felt like some Debo, like, yo, we good, son? Like, trying to, son me or whatever like that.
Try to lay his weight on you.
Yeah, and he's a bigger dude, too. So now, and I'm, anyway, I thought the way I thought. I could feel, right? He got a gun on his waist. He's like, yo, we good? Like that, but it's, more aggressive, stuff like that. So I just, you know what I'm saying? Reacted, right? Disarmed him. You know what I'm saying?
So you did on the use a gun against him?
Yeah. You wasn't gonna. My thing, you ain't gonna get me.
Okay.
You're not gonna get me. You know what I'm
That's
saying?
what
Again, I
caused-
regretted that.
And that's what caused you 25
And that's
years.
So right there,
Where's that? Where you caught this case at?
this is upstate Utica.
Oh, in Utica.
Yeah, it's upstate. They was slaying.
So it
it.
was real tough for you because you originally from New York. So
Yeah, I'm from New York.
they're
yeah.
looking at you like you went out
Yeah,
there and killed
yeah,
somebody from
yeah,
Utica.
yeah, exactly. Now there's dudes. Now after that, then it's like everybody started buying. That shit was crazy. It was like the Wild Wild West. But again, it was you know not justifying. You threatened me, boom, this and that. So I'm on point. I'm going down. I actually went. I actually went.
It just led to that.
Yeah, and I actually went down there thinking, to meet a girl.
No, but I just, just
It's crazy.
to briefly,
The money and the money. You know what I'm saying? I'm keeping it real.
yeah, to briefly talk about that, right? Like you here now, you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying, as a businessman, and I know there's different things. You had 25 to life, right? So you went to see a parole board. So, when we go see the parole board, we kind of, share that we have remorse
Yeah.
for, taking a life.
Yeah, I do.
We acknowledge the fact that, that we actually committed the crime, right? There's no shifting blame. Like
Right.
we own that.
Yeah.
And then we talk to the parole board about, the ways that we can be an additive to society, right? And allowing other individuals to learn from some of the things that we experienced, right? With taking a life, with now learning to hold ourselves accountable.
Yeah.
This is what we do. You know what I'm saying? So I don't want to be here and we're just talking about, a
Right.
murder or
Right,
a
right.
life taken, and then we
Right.
don't acknowledge it. But I'm saying that because I definitely want to send condolences to the family of
Yeah.
whoever that individual
Facts.
who
Yeah.
that lost his life on
Yeah.
that night. But I pass it back to you,
Yeah.
for the same.
And I feel the same way because to this day, I mean, this is every life has value.
You better believe it.
Every life has value. I didn't set out to go down. Yo, I'm gonna go get this
Yeah,
because I could have been did it.
Yeah, that
Could have
was
been
the
did it.
mindset.
Yeah, it was a mindset. Then you come with the same energy. This
cost
is
you
my
25
thinking.
years.
And it wasn't worth it.
Loss for
25 years.
loss.
Yeah,
You lose a life.
His family lost.
Yeah.
My family lost.
That's right. You
Right?
lost because that's time you'll never get back.
Yeah, exactly.
But now that we own that,
For me, I would say that I was fortunate in that early on in my bid, very early on, I went up in 92, right? Came home in 2016. So had a quarter, 25 life. I got 6 months credit, gave me off, right? The LCTA, right?
that's right.
So, but anyway, so for me, like anybody else, my head is spinning. I'm like, what the fuck, 25? I'm not even 25 years old. You give me 25 years of life? You know what I'm saying? I mean, not saying that the life don't have value. It wasn't that, but it's like, damn, how I'm supposed to do that? How I'm supposed to do that time? So, but early on, by 94, I had been to Auburn, Elmira. I'm in Elmira 2 years before I went down to Green Haven. And Green Haven, I really became more conscious.
Gotcha.
Because every prison, my man Luke Mon, Larry White, God bless his soul, right? Taught me the elder,
God bless his soul.
right? And he was like 80-something years old, 80. And I consider myself lucky in that, like you talk about education, I was able to receive when the old timers was like dropping Jews. Because sometimes they be dropping Jews and dudes be knuckleheads. You can't receive it.
That's a fact.
I was there when giants, legends in the system, right? Seriously, meaning not on the negative side, but the positive side,
Positive
right?
side, yeah, the
And
good
I
side.
was there. And because they saw something in me. It's literally, and I would be in the rooms with them. So now, and then I became one of them dudes, real talk.
Well, you start,
right?
tell me the program
Yeah, the
you
gangsters
started
were coming to
teaching.
my class. So I taught personal finance, right? So my whole journey was this. In 94 is when I really started getting into personal finance, reading about it, because I had 2 years in, started doing a lot of introspection, and I was like, damn, the root cause of all, besides the environment and the crack and all
Right,
that,
right.
is me trying to chase the bag, trying to get money.
Finances.
So I said, I got to figure this out. And I was always smart. So I started reading about it. I started investing from inside. In Elmira. I put my first $300. I ain't have a lot of money. I invested right in there. Right? I still got the stock certificate, all that, right?
Excellent.
And then when Green Haven, they said, yo, you can't do it. You got to shut it down, all this stuff like that. But then in Green Haven, I met a Jamaican dude who ran CAU, the program, right? And he heard me.
Caribbean African Unity.
Unity, exactly. He heard me talking in the mess hall, and so in Green Haven about personal finance. I just, talking shit or whatever. Yo, but because I know my stuff. You young, showing up. So he said, yo, I want you to teach my members, blah, blah, blah. So I was like, nah, I'm good. I wouldn't say shy, but I didn't feel confident enough to think at
You was a little
25.
timid, all that.
Yeah, dudes at 35, 40. What am I gonna teach them? You know what I'm saying? But anyway, he said, yo, put something together, boy, and I did it. I was hooked ever since. I've been teaching for 30 years.
Nice.
So it was
Wow.
1995.
So tell us about, once you you've been teaching that for 30 years, and now that you transitioned out, you wrote 2 books while you were inside. That speaks to, you know, your laser focus. But tell us now that you transitioned out, like kind of what the journey been like, and then what you're doing now.
Since you've been home, how long you been home?
9 years. I've been home. I came home October 3rd,
Just talk about all the
2016.
greatness you've been doing.
No, I've been doing a lot, and I have to say, I'm gonna give my wife, right, give her flowers, right,
That's
give her
right.
flowers
That support
because
system, solid support.
I've done a lot in my, on my own, right, but I wouldn't be where I'm at without my wife. That backbone. That's
what
the
matters.
truth. That's the truth. I went from
Shout out to your wife. What's her
no,
name?
Sheila Rule. Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, no, that's the truth. That's the truth. No ifs, ands, buts about it. She's my, you know what I'm saying, my real
She's
other
a team
half.
player.
Yeah,
Sometimes
she's a
you
team
need that
player.
significant
yeah,
other, man.
Yeah.
To take you there.
Yeah.
So, I
Keep
mean,
me focused, stuff like that.
we got to start giving. We can't, we can't be ashamed, but we got to be proud and give these
exactly.
women our flowers the same way. We talk about them when they're not doing well.
Right.
And, look at them. The society has changed. You know how
Right.
women think and
Right.
Everybody has to make their body do this, do
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
But we got to give those flowers because they are
Yeah.
great women out there. They
Great
are good
woman.
women out
She's a
there.
great woman,
And hey, listen, man. Majority of the time, the woman is the one that help you.
Right, to hold you
That
down.
tell-
That's what I'm
hold you
saying.
down and take you there.
So
You know what
that
I'm
and,
saying?
that goes to my point. So grew up in East New York. I live in the West Village. We live in a co-op joint.
Excellent.
She owns it. You know what I'm saying? I like strong, smart women. That's what I'm attracted to, and I'm lucky to have my wife.
God
you know
bless
what I'm
you.
saying?
God-
Right, real
God
talk.
bless
real
you
talk.
with her.
So I say that to say I'm not how you say it's not lost on me that my journey coming home was not like a lot of people who come home
Your
from the state.
trajectory, right.
Yeah. It was. I came home to a co-op building. We got the fireplace, the whole thing. We by NYU, by
You
the
didn't have to worry
college.
about getting shot on your way
Yeah,
inside. right?
yeah. None of that. People.
But
just,
she was perfect. She put you in a better environment.
Yeah. So
Well, that goes back to the social determinants of health,
Yeah.
right? And thinking about how environments.
So I don't got to be looking over my
Right.
shoulders.
Sometimes environments impact the way individuals
Yeah,
either
high
recidivate
fact.
Exactly.
or come home and be successful. So,
Yeah, so I
like,
had
again,
to-
kudos
that
to
house
Sheila.
super-
I had the job set up. She helped get the job. Right, came home 52,000 or 50,000, something like that a year, straight out. Right, without a degree. Right now, I got 100 credits. I got 20 more credits, get my degree. But I noticed.
You had a
that.
framework in
Yeah,
place.
yeah, I had a framework, and I
and
did a
support
lot.
system
Yeah, we started.
in place that
we,
put you in a position to win.
yeah, we started nonprofit
Facts.
organization while I was in. My name was ringing bells long before I got out. Long
Gotcha.
before, like I had like mad people write like. Letters
Support
for support.
letters.
So the first time I went to the board, made it. When I got out, the pro, I met one of the former commissioners. She was the chair at the time, and she was at Exodus Transition Community with Hector. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Julio, my man
right.
Julio, right? He endorsed the book too years ago. It's unfortunate.
So
But
do
anyway,
do me a favor. You teach financial literacy. You've been home 9 years.
yeah.
One more year.
Yeah.
And
It's a
you're
decade.
Yeah, it's a decade, and
yeah.
you get reset.
Yeah.
If anything ever happened,
I know
hopefully
you're
it
talking about-
won't.
yeah, I know
You'll be
you're
a
saying,
first-time
yeah,
offender.
that's true,
Right?
yeah,
So
yeah.
I would definitely want to commend you for that. But just give us an aspect of the program that you teach, or one program that you teach that would take our viewers to the next level. Tell
All
them
right.
something
Tell them
about your program that will take them
Right.
to the next
That's
level.
good, that's
Before,
good, that's
we wrap it up because we've had definitely had a robust
Yeah,
interview.
yeah,
But I don't
yeah.
want to.
No,
I don't want to.
no,
I don't
to
want to
not
allow
get
my
that.
our viewers to lose the opportunity to learn
Yeah.
something from a guy like you.
Right.
Facts.
I appreciate that. So what I teach is something I developed called the SSI method, right?
Okay.
When most people think of the SSI, right, they think of supplementary security income, meaning money from the government. Having grown up, right, with my mom's off and on public assistance, my thing is, I'm gonna keep it real. The government, I'm not anti-government, but the government has not been our best friend. I'm just keeping it real. Black and brown people, it's historically from day one, right? So
Just speaking facts and history.
Yeah, that's all. So so for me, I'm starting from that point right there. And so for me, like I said, I did a quarter. A lot of my mans did that type of time or more, right? And we don't have a financial blueprint. We don't have SSI because we was up top. You ain't work, so you ain't put nothing in. You ain't getting nothing out.
Right.
That's the way that system works, right? We don't have IRAs. We don't have 401k. No retirement. We go in our 20s, come out in our 40s, 50s. So the light bulb went off for me. One time I was in Jamaica, Queens with my man. He did 27, something like that. And he was talking about how basically like he's got to work. He doesn't want to work, but he has to work. He want to just chill. He did all the time. He's like, yo, not like he's lazy. He just I don't want to work. Anyway, the light bulb went off. I said, damn, we need a financial blueprint. I had already been investing because I teach it, so I practice it. So I came up with the SSI method, which is basically a wealth building framework for having a spending plan, a savings plan, and an investing plan. We have to learn, and what I teach is we have to have the right mindset, a wealth mindset, an ownership mindset, right? And we got to focus on, instead of just instant gratification, delayed gratification. You don't have to have everything right now. We want everything right now. Yeah. That right now mentality means we spending right now. We not, all this other stuff. So I teach people how to think about money, how to identify their money scripts, their negative self-talk, how they think and feel about money, where you get ideas about where it comes from, right? And so you can trace it, then you can address it, right? So that's how I get. So for me, it's almost like financial therapy, right? Okay, I'm not a therapist, but we got a lot of trauma when it comes to money.
So what's your model? SSI.
The SSI method.
S stands for what?
A spending plan, a savings plan, and an investing plan.
Excellent.
And so basically, to simplify it, another way to say, if you got $100, $1,000, whatever you got 3 buckets. Some you spend on wants and needs, some you save for emergency, for traveling, for whatever, and then some you invest. I personally, everybody's situation is different, because my spending is under control, right? I don't spend, I don't buy all the flying, I don't do that stuff no more, right? Not frown on anybody else, but it doesn't move me like that. My saving, I do save, but for me, because I did 25 years, I'm playing catch up. I didn't have, like I said, all these programs, money saved. I invest a lot.
So let me ask you a question.
A lot.
What's the two types of people in the world?
When it comes to this?
Yep. We briefly tapped on that earlier.
Yeah, we did.
I want to share that with our viewers.
Don't tell me, because we did talk a little bit before we got on. But I'll just say this. So you got people who are consumers.
That's right.
And owners.
That's right.
So I own, right? I consume, put it this way. I have an Apple phone, but I own Apple stock.
Excellent.
I'm on Google. I own Google shares. You know what I'm saying? Netflix, and they all make money. All of them make money, like a lot of money. Sometimes I make $1,000, $2,000 a day in my sleep.
That's right.
I don't got to go on the block. The money is working for me. We got to change. They listen, we've been tricked, right? This is what I really want to say, too. We've been tricked. We've been taught to go to school. I'm not saying it's bad. I'm not saying that, because I'm college educated as well. I love school. I got mad books at the house. Me and my wife, we like nerds, right? You know what I'm saying? But my thing is, we got to learn how to make money work for us.
Well, they say that money is a great slave.
Yeah.
But one of the worst masters.
Exactly.
So if you constantly allow your money to control your actions, you'll constantly be in trouble. But if you take your money and you put it in investments, viable investments, your money will make you money in your sleep, as you just said.
Make money in your sleep.
They're owners and consumers.
Yeah.
People who are consumers, every time they get their money, they be trying to figure out ways how to get it out of their own pocket.
Yeah, it's like a fix.
That's right.
I gotta get it. I gotta get it.
They'll take their money, invest it in businesses, invest it in stock, and allow it to grow for them.
Stocks, real estate, businesses.
Two other terms you could think of: creditors and debtors.
Yeah.
The owners are most of the time are the creditors.
Right.
The consumers are most of the time the debtors, right? Because you always find yourself owing somebody. If you look up and you got a whole bunch of credit card debt, you're a debtor.
Yeah.
Right. So.
And that means, I know we got to close out. When you own have a lot of debt, basically, like especially department stores, it's like you work for them.
That's right.
People don't even realize. If you got a Macy's card and you're not paying it off, because you think it's free money. When I went to college, that's when I first started getting credit cards.
Right.
And I thought it was free money, but it's not free money. You got to pay it back, right? So once I learned that, you can get if you pay it back on time, it's like you getting a 0 interest loan. That's how you got to think about it. That's an ownership mindset. A consumer mindset, I just keep getting a whole bunch of credit cards. Now you got $10,000 in debt, and you got to work extra hours. Facts. You're giving up your time for money. So where I'm at now, I'm gonna close up with this part as far as the money thing, is we gotta learn how to flip it, right? Turn it on its head, go from consumers to owners so that the money works for us. And this is nothing new. It's been like this for hundreds of years. We just didn't know, right? When I went up top and I learned, I said, oh, damn. I was mad at first because I wish I knew this stuff. I wouldn't have did the stuff I did.
That's right.
Right? But it's always been around. Stocks and all this always been around, right? So now we got to go from, like I said, from consumers to owners in everything we do. That's how I look at things now, right? And make the money work for you. So anyway, it was another thought I had, but I'll close out
Yo,
with
we
that.
appreciate you, man. Give a shout out to your people,
appreciate
man.
it.
Talk to the
Appreciate it.
people.
All right,
Shout out to
right.
the people, man.
Where
We're
they
there.
can
We
find
in the
your
building,
books?
huh?
Where they find your
You
books?
can find both books on Amazon, right? Amazon.com. Think Outside the Cell. Appreciate that. And the new SSI method. I have a third book. You're going to, a third book.
Make sure we get it.
Right? Yeah, I get it. Right? I
Make
got
sure we
you.
get it.
I got
Bring
you.
it to the platform.
I got you.
Investing. We
Invest-
got the new SSI method. We
Think
got it in
outside
book
the
form.
That's I
We
appreciate
got Think Outside the Cell.
And then the other one is just came out this week, Above the Clouds, right?
Okay.
So that's dealing with something real briefly called the GDP framework, gratitude, detachment, and perspective, right?
Well,
Having
Joe,
clarity.
we
Right?
appreciate
Joseph
you.
Robinson is in the
Appreciate it.
building. Give your shout outs
Right,
before we
right.
shut it down.
I just want to say, I got to shout out Brooklyn, right? Got to shout
BX to BK all day.
Gotta shout Brooklyn
I got to
out.
shout out Brooklyn, man. Got to shout out Brooklyn, East New York, right? Because it made me who I am. Too.
Gotta shout out
I
the
went-
South Bronx.
It's South Bronx. I got ya.
Huh?
I got ya. I
Come on,
got ya.
baby.
I got ya. No
That's
question.
right.
And so you can find me online. I got it's Mindful Money, mindful one word, Mindful Money, LLC.com. I'm on social media on all the platforms. On TikTok, on Facebook, on all of them. YouTube, Think Outside the Cell, got merch, right? Shop
got it.
Think
That's
Outside
right.
the Cell.
You working.
I'm an entrepreneur. I hustle.
You
Got
working.
the ownership mind state. Yo, it's your
Mindset,
boy
mindset.
BX Tone, Dog in the Yard. My boy Pistol Pete.
PP.
You already
All
know
right,
this.
all
And
right.
With that being said, we out of here, man.
Yeah.
What up? It's your boy BX Tone, Dog in the Yard. First and foremost, salute to Joe Robinson for pulling up, sharing his story. Went through a lot of trials and tribulations. Grew up in a drug-addicted household. You know what I'm saying? Struggled with, societal influences, social determinants of health, as we spoke about on the podcast. But overall, through incarceration, he became the best version of himself. During the course of that incarceration, he wrote 2 books, available on all platforms. Plus, he just released a new one this week. Listen, transition is possible. Joe Robinson, salute. BX Tone, Dog in the Yard.
Dog in the Yard is about second chances. I bring those same opportunities to real estate, not only here in Tampa Bay, but throughout the entire United States. I'm Gustavo Torres with Florida's First Choice Realty. I make real estate moves simple and stress-free, helping families and individuals like yourself find stability through buying, selling, or investing. From the yard, straight to your front yard.
Whipping it,